Today in Rekordbox for beginners, I'm going to go over how to set cues. This is how to set cues in Rekordbox. I'm not going to speak to where to set your cue points. I would assume that you already know how to do that. But this is how to use cues in Rekordbox. So the first thing I'll go over is just setting a manual cue point. This is not saving anything. This is just, let's say you just loaded a track, a last minute request, and you need to cue it up to where you want to start before you play, and you don't have long. You just put the playhead wherever you want the cue, and you simply hit your cue button right here. Next, we're going to talk about memory cues, which I don't use, but it's a program. It's a feature the program has. So I'm going to show how to use it. So if you want to, let's say we want to take this cue that we just set and we want to save that as a memory cue. You just simply hit this memory button and it saves the cue right here. If you right click on that, you can label it whatever you want, and you can do, I believe, 16 of the, or it looks like 8 of these by default. So again, I don't use these, but that's how you do it. If you want to set a memory cue, the memory cues will not start playback of the track. They just take it to the cue point, whereas your hot cues will automatically start playback. So moving along to the hot cues, which is, this is what most of us are going to be using most of the time, right? So let's move the playhead here. And let's just say I'm going to pretend that this is the 1 beat, and I want to set this up as my drop on the 1 cue. Usually what I do is I save the first 2 slots for, like, if I want to do the very beginning of the track, and then say it has a long intro and I want to cut the intro in half. Maybe I, like an Outcast Roses or something, where I want to catch some of that piano at a certain point. Then I would put my second one right here, and then usually I'll do my drop on the 1 right here, or wherever. It doesn't matter, however you want to do it. So that is my drop on the 1 hot cue. I'm going to right click on this. I'm going to change it to pink or fuchsia or whatever you call that, because that's the color I use for drop on the 1. Right click again, and you can label this, and I'll just put drop 1, keep it simple, and there we go. So that hot cue is set. So whenever I just hit this, either in the Rekordbox window or on my controller, then that's going to start playback of the track at that point. There is an option for gated playback, and I'll show you where to get to that. So if you want the track to only play while you're holding the cue and then stop playing when you release it, you would go to Preferences, and then I believe it is Controller. Yes, there is the hot cue gated playback. So if we turn this on, this track will only play while you're holding down the cue button. When you release the cue button, it will stop playing. If you have gated playback turned on and you want the track to keep playing, you simply push the play button while you're holding down the cue button, and the track will continue to play. I don't have it on, so it's not active in mine right now. Going back to our cues, let's say that, let's just pick a spot. And again, I'm not looking in the track to see if it's where I would actually put these cues. I'm just making this how to use the cues. So let's pretend like this is the fade out, or after the chorus, this is where I want to start mixing out, or one of the points I might want to mix out. So if I want to set a hot cue right here, I'll just go in here and click the button, and so it saved the hot cue. And then I personally use yellow for my mix out. And if I wanted to label this, I can just label it whatever I want to, mix out, keep it simple. And so there's that one. This will serve as a visual cue. When you see the track playing and you see your yellow cue up here, you'll know that your mix out point is coming. Or you can, jump right to it. If you come off of the chorus or whatever and you just want to cue over to your mix out, you can just jump to it that way. One of my favorite things about hot cues in Rekordbox, and I don't know if Serato does this or Virtual DJ because I don't use those, but if you want to set a loop, you can save it right in your hot cue pads. So let's say this is where I want my loop in. So I've got it set on manual right here. I'm going to hit the in button, and we'll just come over here, move this over, and set the out. So there is our loop. All I have to do to save this is hit whichever hot cue I want to save it on. Now you'll notice there's this icon with the circle and the arrow that tells me that it is a loop and not a cue. When I hover over it, it says set active loop. If you click that, then the loop will automatically trigger whenever the track reaches that point in the song. This is really helpful for tracks where you don't have a lot of time at the end. Say you've only got 4 bars or 8 bars or whatever to mix out of. You can set the loop to automatically trigger, and then you don't, if you miss it, if you're not paying attention or whatever, your loop will trigger, and then that gives you time to mix out of the track. So I really like that and use that quite a bit. Any loops you want, or excuse me, loops or cues that you want to delete, you just simply go here and hit the X next to it, and it will take it out of there. You can set Rekordbox to automatically set your loops for you when you do your track analysis. I tried this. I found that it puts far too many cues in there, and none of them are really usable. So I have turned this off. But to set that on or off, you go to Preferences, and then you want to go to Analysis, and then up here you'll see Cue Analysis, and right here is where you can have Rekordbox set your cues. Again, I have it off because I find it doesn't do a very good job. Maybe that's something that'll get better in the future, but I just set my own cues, so I just have that turned off. I believe that pretty much covers the basics of where the cues are in Rekordbox and how to get started with it. If you have any questions, if there's anything I didn't cover that you want to know about, please drop a comment. Again, this is a new channel, so if you would like and subscribe, that would be great, and I'll keep putting these out. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate y'all watching, and we'll see you on the next one.